Barak Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rawchaa Qadash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is Revelation chapter 14. And pretty much we're just going to go over some of the scriptures or the chapter in Revelation 14 and then hit a few precepts on it. In the Lord's will, this will be an edifying lesson. Excuse me, this came to mind last night to do a lesson on this, before I went to sleep, and I wanted to tackle that. Hold on for 1 second. Never mind, I'll take care of that later, Lord's will. All right, so let's just go to it, get into it, and take it from there. Revelation chapter 14 verse 1, it says here, the Lamb and the 144,000 on Mount Zion, and this pretty much represents the government of Israel. The true Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You're going to have Yahawashi on the top, and then 144,000 are going to be the cabinet of the government, of the kingdom of heaven. It says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion. This lamb represents Yahawashi. There's many precepts we could go to prove that. One of them being Revelation, the 5th chapter. The other one, a good one, is in the book of St. John, the 1st chapter, and the 29th verse, which says, the next day John, this is John the Baptist, seeth Yahawashi coming unto him, and saith, behold, the Lamb of the Most High, which taketh away the sin of the world. The sin of the world here is the word cosmos, which means the Israelites. And Yahawashi covered all of the sins of Israel. Although only the elect will be delivered in this time, eventually all Israel shall be saved once the kingdom is established. All right, so that covers that. And like I said, there's many other scriptures you can go to cover that. It says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, which is the governing body of Israel, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And when you go to the different translations of this verse, you run across, let's see, NIV, it says, and with him 144,000 who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. When you go to the Greek, when you go to the Hebrew, when you go to the Spanish, I believe the Latin also, they all have the same thing. It says his name and his father's name written in their foreheads. I'm not sure why they didn't put that in the King James, but this is very important because the name of the Most High Yahawah and his son Yahawashi are part of the seal that's going to be placed upon the elect to be delivered. All right, so although the sins of all of Israel had been covered by Yahawashi, only the elect would be delivered, because only the elect of the nation of Israel are sealed. Right? ESV, who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads, and so on and so forth. I believe even the NLT says the same thing. Yep, who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. And that's important because that is a part of the seal of Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi. And when we go to Revelation 7, right, once again, the elect of the teachers are sealed, which I'm pretty sure by now they are. Elder Pastor said he believes through the Spirit they are. And I believe that too, because, what proves it is all of the prophecies that are popping off all throughout the planet, and the word, the gospel is going out, strong. So the 144,000 have to be already sealed, just the rest of the elect being sealed by the word. Because in order to be sealed by the word, you have to be, the Lord has to raise up his teachers first, then, so on and so forth. So Revelation 7:3 says, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of the Most High, our power, in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So the 144,000, you know, the governing body, the teachers, prophets, so on and so forth, from the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And this is talking about the actual 12 tribes. It's not talking about the believers. All right, like some nutcase tries to make people believe. And if anybody believes that, then they're just bugged out. All right, so just like the Most High has his seal, right, which his seal also comprises of his name, Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. See, so these names are very important. That's why it says, what is his name and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell. You know, and you have these individuals playing games with the Most High's name. Now, when we jump down to the, let's see if I could find that real quick. The 11th verse of Revelation 14, it says, and the smoke of her torment ascendeth up forever and ever. This is America after she's destroyed, Babylon the Great. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, right? Because the people who take that M-A-R-K, they're going to be subservient to these devils. So pretty much you're going to do whatever they say for you to do, and you're going to, you know, be a servant for life, you know. So you're not gonna be able to do your own will. You're not gonna have your downtime for yourself. These devils are going to, you know, require you to perform your duties. You know, just look at it this way. Look at the individuals out there in the entertainment world who are celebrities. They sold their soul, and what happens? They have to keep pushing, you know, product out. They have to keep on, you know, doing what they do. They have to keep on sacrificing. And if you look at them, they look haggard sometimes because they're, you know, they don't really get no rest. You even heard, I heard this individual, Steve Harvey, one time says, you know, if you're trying to be successful, I'm just merely paraphrasing, you're not going to get 8 hours of sleep. So pretty much you're not going to get rest. So when this whole system is put in place, what do you think is going to happen? That same energy is going to transfer to those who have that the image and the M-A-R-K, so on and so forth, who are all a part of, you know, this new system that they're setting up. And then it says what? And whosoever receiveth the M-A-R-K of what? His name. So they will be sealed with the name of Esau, with the name of this new system that they're putting in place. But the elect of the nation of Israel will be sealed with Yahawashi's name and this truth, this word. All right. So going back now to the second verse, Revelation 14:2, and I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harp. Right. And the harpers harping with their harp is this truth, this knowledge, which is as a lovely song being played. Remember, you have those Israelites out there that hear the song, but they don't get involved with the song. It tells you that in Ezekiel 33. So this knowledge is a song, but the only ones that can really learn the lyrics to teach the lyrics are the teachers. But the ones that the great cloud of multitude that hear this and believe it are the ones that will be sealed, that are a part of the elect. But the only ones that can really get the true gospel, you know, are the teachers. That's it, which is the 144,000. It says, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts. Right, because this song of Christianity, that tired ass song, has been sung for the longest. And people are not vibing with that anymore. You know, beautiful. Let me get, Salah, I know you brothers put on some beautiful precepts. Psalms 33:2. Praise the Lord, Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi with harp. Sing unto him with the psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings. That's right. Because this truth is, you know, a song. All right. It is like beautiful music. You know, and shalom to you, Akim, if it's any apostles or bishops or elders or brothers watching. Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi, Barak a thumb to you all. You know, and shalom to the sincere sisters, few that there may be. It says, and the elders, I'm sorry, it says, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. So this truth that's being taught cannot be learned by anybody, you know. So this is why you're going to have, no matter how well you break it down, a lot of these Israelites out here are not going to receive it or get it, you know. So I know we get upset because we get, you know, we're passionate about this, but at the end of the day, they're not meant to get, if they're not meant to get it, they're not going to get it, you know. So it's futile getting angry or getting pissed off, you know, but that is a part of our makeup, our nature, you know, and, you know, that's that zeal of the Lord. All right, so let's go from there. Oh, matter of fact, let me read one more verse. It says, these are they which were what? Not defiled with women. And this is very important because you have these bugged out pedophiles, you know, that like to deal with little boys, but because they don't deal with women, because they don't like women, you know, they say, well, see, that means if you have sex with a woman, you can't be a part of the 144,000 because you have to be a virgin. No, that's not what it's talking about. Let's go to a couple of precepts to prove that. Let's go first to the book of Proverbs, the 5th chapter. We're going to jump around a little bit. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 3. It says, for the lips of a strange woman, that's why it says to keep, to attend unto wisdom, bow our understanding, bow our ear to understanding, you know, and hold on to knowledge, you know, as a stronghold, the knowledge of this truth. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Why? Because it says, for the lips of a strange woman drop as in honeycomb. What is this lips of a strange woman that drop as a honeycomb? That's talking about these alluring, seductive ways of these religions, you know, and that soft spoken voice, and, you know, they don't say a cuss word, they don't, you know, they cater to everybody, you know, they never, you know, stir the pot up, they never correct anyone, they just, you know, give them those smooth words. These are all a part of that seductive spirit, which the Apostle Paul warned Timothy that the time will come when some will not endure sound doctrine, you know. Why? Because you're going to have these seductive spirits. So that's what with the book of Revelation 14, when it speaks about they were not defiled with women, it's speaking about they were not defiled by these different religions. Why? Because we, as men, we men, ain't we? Inside joke, are married to the Most High Yahawah. And he's in turn given us in marriage to his son Yahawashi. And that's what this thing is all about, is the marriage supper of the Lamb. Right? So in 2 Corinthians 11 and 2, it says, for I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin, meaning a virgin that is disciplined, that is not laying down with all of these different philosophies, religions, you know, being children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine. Okay? So going back to Proverbs 5 and 3, for the lips of a strange woman drop as in honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword, right? Because the end of it, although it seems sweet, is destruction. You know? No, they that leave the way of truth shall remain in the congregation of the dead. You know, merely paraphrasing. It says her feet go down to death, her steps take hold on hell, meaning she's going to lead many to destruction. These different religions and philosophies. And many there be which go in there at, as Yahawashi spoke about, to enter in at the straight gate, because wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction. And many there be that go there at, because they're going to be allured by that seduction. You know, and a lot of these different so-called preachers, they preach what? They preach a prosperity doctrine, which is alluring to Jake, because Jake wants to get out of the condition that they're in. So they figure by following sweet Jesus that they'll be able to attain that. But all they're doing is getting more and more into debt and further and further into poverty, while that big bow-legged, fat pot-bellied preacher up on the pulpit is getting richer and richer and fatter. You know, you can find that in Ezekiel 34. It says, "Least thou shouldest ponder the path of life," right? Because there is a path of life. The scriptures speak about what? You know, when we heard a word behind us because we were going down the wrong way. Walk ye in it. When you turn to the left hand and when you turn to the right. So once the Lord is leading us to that guiding light, no, least thou shouldest ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. And this is why you see these individuals, even the ones that know that they're Israel, changing up their doctrine so much. Why? Because her ways are movable. Thou canst not know them. That's why they got to keep changing the breakdown to certain things or keep adding stuff to it. You know, like the latest with IUIC is what? That the MOTB is, the picture of Caesar Borgia. You know, they just keep adding and subtracting stuff to it. You know, and that's movable. These different religions, the same thing. Because there is no foundation there. Yahawashi is not found there. And no other foundation can man lay than that which is laid, which is Yahawashi. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children. It says, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Why? Because these words that are contained within this book, this true understanding, with all knowledge is a principal, wisdom is a principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all I get understanding. That is the foundation, you know. And to stand upon that rock, Yahawashi, is the stability of our times and strength of salvation, you know. But the other way is unstable. It says, remove thy way far from her. See, come not nigh the door of her house, right? Because we already entered in to the proper house. We already came through the door, through Yahawashi, you know. Yahawashi supping with us, you know. Lord's will we be the elect, you know, but Yahawashi supping with us. So there's no need to go anywhere else to get, you know, that constant feeding. All right. So now let's jump down to the what is that? 15th verse. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the street. This is why Yahawashi said, he that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. This is what it's talking about in the book of Revelation, when it speaks about that they were not defiled with women. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. This is talking about the knowledge, you know, come upon her, you know, like a child sucking his mother's breast. You know, let her be as a loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times. That's this knowledge, the constant nourishment, the connection to that spiritual umbilical cord, so you can understand. And be thou ravished always with her love. Right. You know, just as it was, like as if it was the first time you dealt with this woman. All right. It says, and why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? Right. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. Another one that we could go to is in the book of Proverbs 7. Right. I'll just read a couple of verses here real quick. And this is Proverbs chapter 7, verse 5. It says that they may keep thee from the strange woman. Once again, holding on to the principles that we've been taught. From the stranger which flattereth with her words. Why? Because these other philosophies are very alluring. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and behold, among the simple ones, see, the simple ones, the simple, continue on in our I forget how the precept goes in Proverbs. The simple go on and are punished or something like that. I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding. This is a man that did not have his garment on, passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house. In the twilight, in the morning, in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, right? Because once you leave the way of, or the path of truth, which is the light, you enter into darkness. Remember, it says, if thine eye be darkened, how great is that darkness? And behold, there met him, beautiful, the water, bro. Proverbs 22:3, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. The water. So like if I don't read all of you brothers' precepts, it says, in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and subtile of heart. This is talking about other philosophies, other religions. This is why I believe it's either in the book of Zephaniah or one of those smaller books where it speaks about the children being arrayed in strange apparel or something along those lines. Those are the strange apparels. Yahawashi said it best in Revelation chapter 16, which we went through the other day, Revelation 16 and 15, where it says, behold, I come as a thief, blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garment, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. All right. And let's get one more. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 27. It says that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. All right, this is dealing with the elect. All right, so when we read Revelation 14 and 4, these are they which were not defiled with women. Now we understand what that means. It's not talking about actual woman. This is talking about these philosophies. And as you read on, it explains it. But the carnal mind looks at, oh, they were not defiled, they didn't pop women. But then these same devils that teach that, they pop little boys. You go and figure. For they are what? Virgins, meaning that they are pure. They are untouched by the philosophies of this world. Once the knowledge of Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi entered into them, cleansed them, they no longer went back the other route. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth, no matter how difficult it may be. Why? Because the Spirit of the Lord has this drive in those men to go, no matter what. You know, so that's a very privileged position to be in. To have the Lord supping with us, you know, Lord's will we be the elect, and guiding us no matter what, you know, happens. The Lord keeps that spirit on each individual, pushing forward. These were redeemed from among men. Why? Because the Lord threw out the rod of truth out there, you know, which was that, you know, fishing. The Lord was fishing, and what he did was redeem them from among men. Okay, I want this one, I want that one, I want those 3 over there, I want those 4 down there, I want this one. No, I don't want none of those over there. I want some, you know. And this is how the redeeming is happening. Being the first fruits unto the Most High and the Lamb. Yeah, because the first fruits are the ones that are going to be ruling first. Remember, you have to have a governing body. Any empire that ever ruled, you know, they always had a governing body, legislation, a law, guidelines, taxes, everything of that nature to follow. So you don't think the kingdom of heaven is going to be as such, but even greater? So the word there is aparke for first fruits. It says to offer firstlings or first fruits, right? When you have your harvest, the first part of that harvest belongs to the Lord. You know, then the rest of it is yours. And then you would leave, even though the rest of it was yours, you would still leave 1/10 of it for the poor, to show you how the Lord deals. It says to take away the first fruits of the production of the earth, which was offered to the Most High, the first portion of the dough from which sacred loaves were to be prepared, hence term used of persons consecrated to the Most High for all times, for all time. And there's a scripture, I believe that might be Ephesians, where it speaks of, man, just kind of escaped my mind. Right, speaks about the renewing through the Holy Spirit or something like that, regeneration, something like that. I can't think of the word. There's a way that is written, and worded, you know, that they were pretty much sanctified through the Holy Spirit, through regeneration or something along those lines, you know. So, you know, I'm pretty sure you brothers know what I'm talking about. Person superior in excellence to others of the same class. Yeah, because you're going to have levels to this. All right. Now, yep, this is a good one here. Let me read this one. Exodus 13:2, sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast, it is mine. Right. That's right. So now, let's go from there. Let's go back. It says, these were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. Let's see, Titus 3:5, not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercy he saved us by the washing of regeneration and renewing of the Holy Spirit. That's it. That's it. The water, brothers. Both you brothers put it up. The water. All right, now, let's go from there. Let's go to, let's keep on going. All right, so Revelation chapter 14, verse 5 now. And in their mouth was found no guile. And this is how you know that when it says that these will not defile with women, that's what it's talking about. In their mouth was found no guile. Why? Because they taught and they teach the true gospel of Yahawah B'Shem Yahawashi in truth. It says, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. Why? Because they didn't deviate from the path. He that endureth to this end, the same shall be saved. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth. And what is that everlasting gospel? What we're teaching right now. That leads to what? To everlasting life. It says, to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. Why? Because you have the Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. It's very simple. Let's go real quick to Revelation 5. Because these Christians will see a scripture like that and get a hard on because they think that that's talking about all nations. Revelation 5:9, and they sung a new song saying, thou art worthy to take the book, meaning Yahawashi, and to open the seals thereof, because he broke the mysteries. He revealed the mysteries after he shed his blood. For thou wast slain and has what? Redeemed us, bought us back. How can you buy something back that was never purchased in the first place? And has redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Why? Because the Israelites were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And just on that scattering alone, you can do lessons for days on that. Now, going back, Revelation 14:7, saying, with a loud voice, fear the Most High and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And it's only going to take 1 hour for this place to go down. Revelation 18 goes deep into that, about that hour. Of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of river and waters. It says, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city. This is dealing with America. And this is after the destruction. You know, that's why it says fallen in the past tense. Because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. This is dealing with that the Mo philosophies and other type of policies that they push out there upon the people. All right, and they're heavy into pushing that. And these nations are sipping that Babylon juice like crazy. Salaka, for one moment. So, verse 9. The third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, meaning you not only follow this man's philosophies, his ways, you know, all into this political system, you know, whatever angle you coming at to deal with this man, or take this device that they're going to push upon the world, the MOTB, which is the micro C-HIP, to be able to do business in this future world that's coming, that's pretty much here, you know, that they're establishing right before everybody's eyes. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured without mixture into the cup of his indignation. This is dealing with the destruction. Psalm 75 says that there's a cup in the Lord's hand, and it is full of wine, the wine of his wrath. And the wine of his wrath is talking about these missiles and the lasers from the chariots that's going to come upon, you know, the people in America, and certain places of the world will get hit with it. But the main place of the lake of fire is going to be here in America. Now, the land of Israel is going to be totally annihilated because it has to be rebuilt. You know, and certain other places around the world will get hit. You know, we don't know exactly how it's going to go down, but we know that the Lord is going, you know, he got his judgment set on the earth. But we know for certain that America is going to be totally engulfed in flames, and the land of Israel. All right. And this is the judgment for those that take that MARK. All right. The micro C-HIP. Because that's how you're going to have to buy and sell in the future. This is why everything is going digital. And we keep telling you that. And this is why you have these so-called leaders now scrambling and rambling, because there's nothing that they can do. I know they're probably mad that everything is going in that direction, and that everything don't just stay the way it is. Why we gotta change everything? Why we just can't keep it the way it was? Inside joke, you know. But that's the truth. I know they're mad that they see everything going digital. That's why they have to now, well, you know, we better start speaking about this digital system that's coming, and the, you know, monetary system that's coming, because you know GMS, you know, they're gonna get on us, you know, because see, they're looking at it as men, you know. Well, I don't like them, you know, so I'm not gonna accept anything that they teach. They're not looking at it with a spiritual eye, that it's the Lord Yahawah pushing us to bring these things out, because this is what the scripture says in Revelation 13 and 16 on down, when it speaks about the MOTB. This is the Most High Yahawah's program. This is what he showed John the Revelator. And this is what is going to happen, and this is what is happening. So when you start with all this bullshit teaching, now you got to go back and you got to revamp your shit. That's what the scriptures say, meddle not with them that are given to change. So it says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, because when Yahawashi comes back, and the angels, they're going to be effing people up too that took that MARK. Hitting them with lasers from the chariots, you know, watching them burn up, you know, watching, you know, them trying to run from the fire of those missiles hitting. And, oh, got him. You know? It says, and the smoke of her torment ascended up forever and ever, meaning it's going to go up for a long time. Why? Because you're not going to be able to put this fire out. And this is why it speaks about unquenchable fire and things of that nature, where the worm dieth not, because it's going to be burning for a long period of time. All right? And once it finishes burning, eventually it's going to die out, but it's going to take a long time. If they so-called can't put out those fires from Canada and put out those fires out there in Cali and so on and so forth, what makes you think they're going to be able to put out America when it's on fire? You know, how the hell you going to put that out? Huh? They in the ladder, you know, they in the ladder, which that's what they call these fire trucks. Ain't a fire truck big enough or strong enough or with enough water to put this fire out, this great conflagration. It says, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the MARK of his name, because you will be sealed with Esau's MARK, which is the Most High's MARK anyway. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that, oh, I'm sorry, before I continue reading, let's go from there. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 34, because this parallels Isaiah 34. And Isaiah 34 pretty much tells us the future of America, which the Lord calls Edom, Basra, Nineveh, Babylon, Egypt, Sodom, so on and so forth. So Isaiah 34:4 says, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. And what is the host of heaven? That's talking about all of the military men that are up in the heavens, whether it's the space station, whether it's the jets, helicopters, you know, fighting and then turning their fight from against each other to the Lord. You know, the clouds in the heavens are going to be entangled within this destruction, so to speak. It says, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, right? Because when you see the so-called mushroom cloud, it looks like a scroll being wrapped together. So when the Isaiah and the Apostle John also saw this, this is what they described it. They saw the mushroom cloud and they described it like a roll being rolled together. That's why I said the clouds, the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And all their hosts shall fall down, meaning all of the mighty, so-called mighty men of Esau and the other nations are going to fall. That's why it says, it speaks about in Revelation 12:9 and other scriptures about Satan falling. You know, Yahawashi even said that, I've seen Satan as lightning fall from heaven. You know, it's not talking about Satan getting kicked out of heaven. It's talking about Esau being destroyed and taken out of his rulership. As the leaf falleth falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree, right? It's going to be, because when fruit is ripe, they usually fall off of a tree. You know, a little wind comes and knocks them over. And this is what's going to happen. Because why is it? Because when fruits are green, they don't normally fall off of the tree in most cases. But when they're nice and ripe, that's when they really, you know, any gust of wind or they just fall because they're ripe. So that ripeness is a representation of the end or the destruction, which Revelation 14 is going into. So once that the earth is ripe and everything in it, that's when the Lord is going to bring the pain. All right. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, the Edomites, and upon the people of my curse to judgment, because they've been set up and established for destruction. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, with the blood of lambs and goats and the fat of kidneys of rams. Right, this is dealing with all the military men, people in general. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra. Basra is another code name for America. And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, because the Most High is going to, you know, have a great sacrifice here, you know, to show these nations, you know, and the world, you know, when you're fresh against the Most High will spank your ass. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks and the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and the dust made fat with fatness. Everything is going to be wiped out here. For it is a day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. So you can't forget about the controversy of Zion. You know, they wore out the saints of the Most High. You saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, so on and so forth. They got to pay for all of that. This is one of the main reasons why the Lord is bringing this destruction upon this place, because they haven't paid or even fixed their face to even do anything about what they, or even take responsibility for what they've done. It's just all swept under the rug. Now all of a sudden they could just be Christians, accept sweet Jesus, and all of a sudden that's cool. They could just roll right into the kingdom. Are you out of your fucking mind? The Lord said that the people that he loves, they caught hell, you know, and you think you're going to go unpunished? The Lord said he will not at all acquit the wicked. You acquit yourself. You know, you give yourself clemency, but the Most High is not going to give you a pass. You're going to get fucked up. It says, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. Right, and this is going to be its total destruction. And there's a small example of it with the 5 cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, Zeboim, Admah, and Zoar. They were all destroyed with nuclear fire from heaven, which the Lord caused the elements to infuse together and come down, raining fire upon this place. You know, he did it. He also did it during but it wasn't destructive to that extent. But in Egypt, he had hail mingled with fire coming down, effing them Egyptians up. But it didn't annihilate them like it did to those 5 cities. It says, and it shall not be quenched night nor day. See, so this is going to the same thing. This destruction is not going to be quenched night nor day. This is what it's talking about in Revelation and other places. You have to, you know, get the proper context, because you go here and it says, you know, that the torment is ended forever and ever. They're not gonna have rest. They're gonna be burning forever. No, we're reading in Isaiah 34 the destruction that's coming by way of the missiles. And it's saying it shall not be quenched night nor day. Why? Because it's going to burn for a long period of time. You can't put it out. The smoke thereof shall go up forever, from generation to generation. It shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. And then as you go on, it tells you about the wild animals and creatures that are going to be here. All right. So going back to Revelation 14, now 12. Right. It says, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahawashi. This is a cold cut to them Christians. The commandments of the Most High and the faith. You got to have both. The laws are not done away with. We're not going to be saved by keeping the law, but we keep the law to the best of our ability. And that is a cold cut to these so-called wacky, tacky Christians. Romans 3:31. Do we then make void the law through faith because we have faith? Does it say that the law is done away with, is void? Well, let's see. The Most High forbid, God forbid. Yea, we establish the law. So the law is to be established, but we cannot be saved by keeping the law, because we are imperfect creatures in imperfect bodies. So we cannot keep the law perfectly. So we do the best that we can. And then the rest, Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi will cover it. That's where faith comes in. So it's a combination. You know, it's not just a singular thing. So this is a cold cut to them Christians. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahawashi. So it says, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead that die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, this saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. You know, you've had great men like Elder Abba Bivens, King Masha, High Priest Yahweh, and other brothers that have passed in the truth. You know, and it says that their works do follow them. We go to Isaiah chapter 57 and 1. It says, the righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart, and merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. He shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. That's why in Revelation 6 it speaks about, you know, those that have died in the Lord, that asking the Lord how long, you know, is he not going to avenge them on the earth? They're in peace. They're chilling. Revelation 14 and 14. It says, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man. This is dealing with Yahawashi, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Right, and you can, you know, go from there. You can go to, I was going to go to a couple of precepts, but in the interest of time, you could go to Daniel 7, 13 to 14, Revelation 6 and 2, and Revelation 19, 10 to 16. Matter of fact, let's get the one at least in Daniel. And this will show you that this is dealing with. 1 second. Hey, shalom, bro. You're sharp up the time. Nah, yeah, we're gonna go. I'm doing it live right now. Pastor G said he's gonna leave. Nah, it's cool. He said he's gonna leave around 12:15, and then we'll be here. So you know, I mean, I guess figure maybe like about 1 if you wanted to start making your way. All right, shalom. That's shalom. Shalom. Okay, Salaki for that. So let's go to Daniel real quick. Chapter 7 and verse 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. This is dealing with Yahawashi, the Son of Man. And there was given him dominion and glory and the kingdom, and all that, right, because he's going to receive crown. He's also called the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That all people, nation, and languages should serve him, and everybody will bow the knee to Yahawah B'Shem Yahawashi. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. All right. Then there's another one in Revelation. The kingdoms of this earth are become the kingdoms of the Lord. All right. Now let's go back to Revelation 14 and 15 now. It says, matter of fact, let me read this again. 14:14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man. This is the chariot, having on his head a golden crown, because he's coming to conquer, as it says in Revelation 6 and 2. And in his hand, in Revelation 19, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Sickle represents what? Sickle is a farming tool that represents when you're ready to cut down the harvest. So we're now entering into the harvest because we're at the end of the world, right? And the end of the world is a representation of that harvest. Let's go real quick to Matthew chapter 13 and verse 38. It says, the field is the world. This is Yahawashi breaking down the parable of the wheat and the tares. The field is the world, right? So the whole world is the field. That's why it says, cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, which are the Israelites. But the tares are the children of the wicked ones. These are the Edomites that look like Israelites. The enemy that sold them is the devil. That's Esau. The harvest is the end of the world. And what do you do in harvest? You reap. You cut down what you had already planted or sowed. Wickedness has been planted. Yahawashi is coming back with the sharp sickle at the end of the harvest, at the end of the world, to chop down those wicked roots, you know, of Esau and the other nations that have been established upon the planet. It says, and the reapers are the angels, because the angels are coming to get busy. Revelation 12 and 9 goes all into it. So Revelation 14 and 15, and another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on a cloud, thrust in thy sickle, right? Because now it's time for Yahawashi to get busy. Because that's all Yahawashi is waiting for. He said the day of vengeance is burning in his heart. He can't wait to get busy on Esau's ass. And 2/3 of you ninjas in America and around the world, and you nations. And reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped, right? And this is when, in the midst of all of this chaos, commotion, destruction, the mark of the beast, all of this, Yahawashi will pop up on Esau and take and finish him off. You know, the Yahawashi and the angels are coming to do guerrilla warfare on Esau. You know, but this is gonna be, they ain't gonna be jumping out the woods. They ain't gonna be jumping out the earth. They ain't gonna be jumping from behind mountains or a rock. They're gonna be coming from the skies, from the waters. You know, don't be surprised if chariots come out of the waters and from other places. All right. It says, and another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. Excuse me. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire. Remember, Yahawashi said, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will if it be already kindled? And the angels are gonna be tearing this place up. That fire is the missiles. I'm sorry, that fire is the lasers from the chariots. You can read about it in Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter. And cry with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. This is dealing with Esau, the nations, and other Israelites that are destined for this destruction. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High. And this is going to be the end of this age. As the apostles asked Yahawashi, what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Meaning the end of the age. It says, and the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. And this is why Isaiah said, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments? Because Yahawashi is coming to tear this place up and tear you devils up. Let's go. Let's finish it out here. Zephaniah 1 and 14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near. This is dealing with the end of the world, the harvest. And hasteth greatly. That's why it says, hasten the day. Even the voice of the day of the Lord. And we hear it speaking. We see it. We're seeing the signs. Everything is appearing on earth. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. Why? Because the Lord is coming to gather these armies to put hell upon them. You know? That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation. Right. Men's hearts failing them for fear, for looking at those things that are coming upon the earth. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against fenced cities and against the high towers. So everything is going to be up in arms, alarmed, nervous, scared, trembling, worried. Because they don't know the uncertainty. See, when Esau is in power now, so there's things that he can control. In this day, he's not going to be able to control the narrative. He's not going to be able to control the power. He's not going to have the power to defend himself. And you're not going to win, devils. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. Right. And this is what the Lord is doing. Because, you know, when you're in a state of shock, or when you're in a heightened state of fear, nervousness, it's hard for you to gather your thoughts together. It's hard for you to think. And this is how the whole world is going to be at this stage. They're going to be nervous. They're going to be bugging out, tripping. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Right, because there's going to be a lot of death. The slain of the Lord shall be many. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. Right, because you have those that are building shelters, that are building arks. You know, they show you in the movie 2012, was it? Or 20-something, I believe it was 2012. You're not going to have the ability, because you're billionaires and trillionaires, to build things, even though these high-end rich Edomites and other nations are going to be spared from the destruction. And the reason why they're going to be spared from the destruction is because they're going to make the great transition from being rich in this world to being paupers in the kingdom of heaven. It says, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. And what land is that? America. The whole land will be devoured with the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make it even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land, because it's going to take an hour for the Lord to take this place out. And between the nuclear missiles and the hypersonic missiles and the lasers from the chariots it's going to be easy work. Easy work. This place is going to be totally annihilated from one end to the other, from top to bottom, and everything in between. So with that, I pray that you brothers and sisters have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.